Hello and welcome to the Feedback Show. I'm Stephen Bradley.
And I'm Colin Bradley.
How you doing, Dad?
I'm very well.
You all right?
Yep. Looking forward to Christmas?
Yes, guys, it's getting close, isn't it?
It certainly is.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
I'm not quite ready yet. I'm not quite prepared.
We're all done and dusted.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, you can relax now then.
Yes.
Yeah. I've got the next. Well, I've got Christmas this Sunday,
Uh-huh.
and Christmas on Christmas Eve, and Christmas on Christmas Day. That would be the four Christmas meals I've got this year. I know. All that food.
Good job you're nice and slim. So but I'll tell you what.
Yeah, it's going to be a crazy time, but it's nice. It's nice going around seeing all the family.
It is, yeah. Oh, this is a time. Family is it's Christmas, and that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
And we're seeing everybody. Thank goodness. We're very lucky that you all live quite close to us. We haven't got far-flung area of the world or the country.
It's true.
We're all nice and local, so we've been very lucky, and we're going to be seeing everybody. So everybody, all the grandchildren, yeah, can't wait.
Great. We've got 4 pictures we're going to talk about today on the show. Should we just dive in?
Yeah, do that, yeah.
Right, let's minimise us and go down to the first one. This one is from Ria. I think I'm saying your name right. Apologies if I'm not, Ria. Hi, Stephen Colin. Thank you for your lessons. Your lessons are so good and easy to follow. I'm new to realistic drawing and new to this medium, and I have to say that I love it. It's the best. This medium is so fast, easy, forgiving and fun that I'm hooked. I finished my first project in pastel pencils, the Jack Russell, and I'm very pleased with it. I would love to hear what you think. Do you have any feedback?
Well, you're absolutely brilliant. If that's the first picture. But we've seen a lot now, haven't we, of the Jack Russells? It's been a very popular picture, and we've seen a lot of them. And I deliberately, when I did this picture, I chose the subject because it was a fairly easy subject, quite straightforward in colours, and very popular too. And this is what's encouraged people to do it.
Mm.
And you made a great job of it. It's sometimes difficult to get the white, and a lot of people have said that to me. How do you get your white? When you see your white, it's all white, and when I put it, it's grey. This is just simply a question of pressure on the pencil for one thing, and establish that white right from the beginning. And then what you've got to do, even though I do put a little grey in, you can't keep putting the grey in, and you've just got to touch it in and leave it there to keep the white. Now it could be that it's in the translation of your original picture may not have been quite like that. It might have been a little brighter than that. So in fairness, if you look at the grey that's running down right the centre of the head, right from the top of the head right to the nose itself, you can see the grey, a bit obvious. Well, that's not really on my picture. If you see mine, it's not got quite as much grey. So this is the problem you've got when you start putting grey in, and you think, oh, I'll put more white into the grey because it's got a bit too dark.
It's difficult to bring it back.
It is. It's better to rub it out and then put the white back in again.
Right.
In a situation like that, but it'll come in time. These are things that you'll practice and get better at it. But you see, the fur is very good, and the ochre fur is very good, and the nose is brilliant. I mean, it's a little hard. If you look at my nose and you look at my nose, you can see the difference between. There's a subtle difference between my nose and the one you've got, and this is because you made it crisp. And the thing you've got to do with everything really, but particularly noses, you've got to round things off. You've got to use graduation. Yes, you've got to
rather than a line.
Yeah, it'll come. It just keep going at it and keep enjoying yourself. That's the important thing. As long as you're enjoying it and you're producing results like that. I mean, we're being a bit critical, but we have to be. That's our job here. But anybody looking at that would be astounded.
Yeah,
as you were.
Absolutely. Well done. We've got another one of your pictures, your second picture actually coming up at the end, so we'll see the improvement that you've made. Okay, next one. Some advice here on this drawing this dog from Marianne. I've had a hard time getting the right colour for the dog. I just can't seem to get it. I'm starting over again and would like some help if possible.
No, the problem here, I'm pretty sure, I haven't seen your original picture, but pretty sure that you've used, when you've looked at the brown there, you think, oh, it's a brown colour, I'll stick brown on it. And then you think, oh, hang on, that doesn't look right. And then you play with it and you play with it and never get it right. Secret to it is you've got to mellow that brown. You can't just put brown on, you've got to put colours underneath it. Now, the problem you've got with that is what colour do you use and how many colours do you put and how many undertones do you put in? Well, yeah, if I do the second question first, as little as possible, but you've still got to put that undertone in, and you've got to do it in such a way that the browns that go on top of it are subdued. And this is the secret to it. In this case, it would be a grey. And I would use 270 would be a great colour for this as a colour. Not for the lighter, the very light. You see where the ear, well, yeah, top of the head to start with. That's it. And then move it right across the other side there, just on the lighter area, the lighter bit. Now, you could put grey in there, but really grey and ivory together probably would work really well there.
As a base colour.
As a base colour. Then you put the browns on top. The browns would be probably 187. And you see, if you put 187 on that, it would be too bright on its own. But once you've got the grey underneath it, the 187 is subdued. Then on top of that, 283. On top of that, 177 or 176. And that would give you that lovely tone.
It's a grey brown, isn't it? This is the thing.
Well,
when
you can see it, can't you?
I can see that.
Now I've mentioned it.
That's a grey brown now that you mentioned that.
And if I was to put a 187 right alongside that, you'd think, oh, I mean, it's in your face. Put your gun glasses on because it's not subtle enough. So this is the key. This is where the key is.
What grey would you put on? Did you say
270?
270. Yeah.
But you don't. But again, you see, you don't want to put too much of it. Just enough. And you could even add a little bit of ivory on there as well. I've just done a brown animal, the very latest one I showed you yesterday. Brown animal, grey went on first, 270. You probably don't know that, do you? But that you know that brown animal I've done, brown, the grey went on first, 270 went on first. Then went the 187, and then went the other tones that went on top of that.
Right. That's how you get the colour.
That's how you get the colour.
There you go, Marianne. I hope that helps.
Practice on spare paper. Practice what I've said on spare paper.
Those colours, yeah. Okay, let us know how you get on. I hope that's helped. Okay. Next one from Linda. Linda says, all the bushes are bad. They wouldn't even accept the little twists of yellow that Colin was adding, and they looked flat from the start. The stonework to the right wouldn't accept the white touches at the end like Colin's picture did. I'm using the front side of your paper and the pit pastels. How can I get the paper to accept more colour and not flatten out so quickly? Any other comments would be appreciated.
Right. Well, bushes are hard anyway. Any landscape, including trees and bushes and grass and all, it's very hard to do because you've got to put the colour raw. Unlike, you see, what you've done, if you look at the green where the roses are, and you look at the green where the roses are on my, or the flowers are on mine, you'll see that my green is very pungent, very powerful. But what you've done, you've started with the lighter tones, put them on, and then tried to put the colour on top, and it doesn't work. You've got to go in straight away with perhaps 168 would be a very good colour to start with.
Really?
Yeah, on the lighter areas, and I'd even put 174 in the darker areas.
Straight on?
Straight on the paper, yeah. Because if you put anything underneath it, you're going to then start to get this pancaking effect. You're not going to get the richness. So that's how you get that depth in there. And eventually you work with your 175s, even a little bit of black on the very dark area. But to put black on anything, you have to have a cushion. Now, the cushion can't be light. If you put all light colours, load of light colours on, say you did 168 and then 174, and then 175, and then black. You have too many colours. You want to get rid of a couple of them.
Right. So
by putting either 174 or 167 or something like that directly on the paper, you're starting from a medium tone and you're working to dark. Whereas in Linda's case, she's working from light to dark.
So you want to use as little custom colours as possible to get to the tone that you want, because then your paper will accept more. Yeah, of the contrasting colours.
Rule of thumb is that if you've got a lighter colour, lighter bush, like the lighter bush underneath it, for instance, you put the lighter colours on to start with, and then you work towards the mid-tones. You can add a little bit of dark colour, but it won't ever be dark. It won't ever show up as dark.
Darken it.
But anything that's dark and has a very strong colour, then you start with a medium tone and work your way towards dark from there. Now, these little twists of colour, well, you can't see them because they're too light. If you look at mine, you see how dark mine is. If I put a little twist of yellow on that, you'd see it immediately, straight away.
Is that also because the paper's getting crushed too, do you think?
Possibly, yeah. It could be, yeah. Experience again. You've got to do a lot of work, and you've got to do a lot of that kind of work to understand how you do it. Yeah. That's basically the problem. And as far as the stonework is concerned, you see my white stonework is and you've got the sort of grey ochre colour. But I put white on there to start with. The white was there, and then I left the white there. I don't colour it. A bit like the Jack Russell, same situation. If you start colouring, you put the greys on and you put the ochres on, you think, oh, now I want to put a bit of white back on. It's never going to come out white. You want to leave it white to start with. It's contrast. If you're looking at contrast, anything that you do, well, it doesn't matter what subject you're doing, you're looking at the light and the dark aspect of tonal value, which gives you 3 dimensions. And you can only get that if you get the extreme lights and the extreme darks and all colours in between. And
like, say, the red popping out, it pops out so much because it's so dark. The foliage is so dark.
Yes, but I've got a feeling, though, I may be wrong, but I've got a feeling that those flowers on Linda's had colours underneath the red. And how many times I said, you don't do that, you put red directly onto the paper. Red doesn't like colours underneath it.
That's a good tip. That is a good tip.
You can put them on top. Do we have? Yeah. You can put them on top. You can put the red on there. You can put a little bit of colour on top. You can put a bit of pink or a bit of white even on top, which lightened it off, and then you can put dark on. So there again, you see us starting with a medium tone.
Yeah, it's interesting. Well, there's lots of exercises on foliage, like the even the demos on this YouTube channel. If anyone wants to practice trees and foliage and seeing those build up of those greens, then
do you know how I got to work all of this out? Apart from practice, I used to go around and look at the other, particularly with the great artists in the National Gallery. I used to visit that a lot. And I used to look at the pictures and say, how could I achieve that effect? And when you look at it, I mean, it's different mediums. I mean, we're talking about oil there mainly. It's a different medium, but that's in my head, that's the effects I wanted to create. So when I started artwork, it wasn't in pastel pencil, it was watercolour. But I could produce, as you know, I can produce watercolour in the same way they did. So I had the image in my head. Now, what you've got to do is look at my images and the videos that I get, and look at those and say, how on earth did he do that? Try to replicate that on spare paper. Don't put it into a picture straight away. Try to do it. You'll do it. I did. Everybody can do it because the answer's there. You've just got to find it.
Yeah. Good.
I hope it helps.
I like that. I hope that helps too, Linda, and anyone else that's found that interesting. Okay, and here's the second one that we promised from Ria, the Siamese cat. Hi, Stephen Colin. My second drawing with pastel pencils. I found it very challenging to do the black fur and make it flow into the white. You can see that with the fur between the ears. The whiskers, I was shaking to put them on, but I like these and think that they look very natural. With my first drawing, the Jack Russell, it wasn't like that at all. I know I changed the background to the cat on its neck and under the cat, simply because I liked it in this way. The white doesn't show well on the photo, but I can guarantee it shows on the drawing.
Yes, but well, once again, you see, between 2 pictures, you've learned what I said on the first one.
The white.
The white, yeah. See?
There you go.
And I think it's brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Once again, you must be, and I can understand why, you're absolutely chuffed with that, because I would be too. Get your backgrounds in, though, girl. You've got to put your backgrounds on. I know it's hard, and I know that because I think that's probably on grey paper, I imagine.
I believe so.
Looks like it anyway. But it's flat. If you look at mine goes, stands out and hits you in the face, doesn't it? If you haven't got a background on it, it doesn't do the same thing. Now, you might think, oh, I can't do backgrounds. Yes, you can. Everybody can do them. And what I would have done with that, don't do it on that one, do it on the next picture. You just put a plain background on to start with, and I would use a grey, probably. I would use maybe a light grey to start with. That would give you the base colour. And then just put a little tint of colour, a little bit of pink. A bit like I've got on mine, but only the lighter tones.
Mm.
You could even, once you've got that background rubbed in really well, and you can do it because you've done it with the white on the cat really well, then you can just put just a touch of colour here, touch of colour there, and you'll be amazed at the difference it makes. Just a simple background. Don't do anything like I've got to start with. Do something a little bit more simplistic, but it makes such a difference. And it'll turn your good picture there into a great one.
Mm. Yeah, it's fantastic.
I don't think there's anything more I can add, really. You've done really well. You've copied, and the subtleties will come later. Don't try those to start with, but they'll come, because your 4th, 5th, 6th, 10th picture will be fantastic.
Well, yeah, that much progression in 2 pictures you can see. So just keep going.
So well done.
Brilliant. There you go. Nothing more to say, and nothing more to talk about this week. So quite a nice slick one. We might not get in another one before Christmas now.
No, I don't think we will.
So
I'm too busy now. So.
You're signing off. And we'll see you all after Christmas. So I hope you all have a wonderful Christmas.
Yes, have a great time.
And a very happy New Year. And keep the pictures coming in. I hope you all have lots of fun drawing over the Christmas period, with all your presents from our store. I'm sure stocked up on pencils and paper to get you through. So thanks everyone for watching. I'm Stephen Bradley.
I'm Colin Bradley.
Bye for now.